How did the Netherlands go from being a completely Protestant country to mainly an agnostic country? 22% of the population is Protestant, 28% is Catholic, 42% of the population has no religion.
Well, that's a very good question. The answer is that the Netherlands were a Protestant country. They're now a post-Protestant country. Prior to Vatican II, Dutch society was very, what's the word I want, stratified. There's a specific word for it in Dutch that the senior moment is preventing me from getting. But basically almost everything was divided into three: Catholic, Protestant, and what was called liberal, or agnostic, whatever, but it's called liberal. And this division went into every aspect of life: athletics, farming. They lived in three different worlds. That began to break down as a result of World War II. But the Dutch Catholics were very much like the Irish Catholics in the sense that they didn't have a great deal of lay leadership, very clerical. And when the Dutch clergy went bad, and they went bad, during and in the wake of the council, it just collapsed. Part of it, too, was that religiosity of any kind became identified with this division in Dutch society, which was, especially in the wake of World War II, with the German invasion and all that, seemed to have been a terrible thing. And again, their clergy really went terrible. And it's extreme, because today in the Netherlands, you'll find some extraordinarily good clerics, and you'll find some really horrible ones. The middle ground that we tend to have doesn't seem to be there. But they are, as far as the Catholics went, a textbook example of Chaucer's Parson, when he says, if gold should rust, what can poor iron do? However, there's more to it, because it also has to do with the decay of Protestantism and the decay of Calvinism, because the Dutch Reformed were Calvinists. And the Dutch Reformed Church is a fascinating institution. Why? Because it is so varied. In the Netherlands, it started out as very strict, and now they're the people who bring you gay marriage. But in New York, because it was the colonial church, it is, alongside the Episcopalians, very much a society church now. In South Africa, they're the people who brought you apartheid. Also in New York, they brought you Norman Vincent Peale and the Prosperity Gospel. Because again, this is related to Calvinism: God will reward the elect. They also brought you out here the Crystal Cathedral. Yeah.
Okay.
But in Michigan, the Dutch Reformed are so very strict, and they don't drink and that kind of stuff. At least they're not supposed to. So, at any rate, when Calvinism decays, its adherents tend to become nothing in particular. And you can see this with Unitarianism coming out of New England Puritanism. Same thing happened in the Netherlands. So you bring together these four things: the confessional division of society and its discrediting, the doctrinal implosion in Dutch Protestantism, and the whole Vatican II, post-Vatican II, and Dutch Catholicism. And then you put it all into one country. So, I mean, they had a pretty tough road to hoe. Interestingly enough, the Dutch monarchy is the only institution that has sailed through all of this, more or less undamaged.
Okay.
It's very strange, but I mean, a lot of Dutch are complete agnostics, but loyal to their queen, or now king.
What religion is the king?
Nominally Dutch Reformed.
Okay.
Because that was the state church once upon a time.
Okay.